the political fight in America is absolute shit, along with New South Wales State of Origin.
Yeah, look, that's a good segue. I was actually trying to find a way, and you did it nicer.
Look, you guys know, before the game, my main answers were, fuck, I'm not even worried.
Yeah, I swear to God. In fact, like you mentioned, you weren't worried. It was like, oh, do I really need to watch it? I'll find out the final score on Facebook. You know what I mean? I'll see the New South Wales 13 plus, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, that's how confident I was. I was like, man, we've got a team of superstars.
Yeah.
On paper, but on paper, it was complete domination. But I want to take a step back before we talk about what actually happened in the game and your views on it, right? Is it me, or did this year just not feel like an Origin? I don't know if it's because it's been put to the end of the season, but I feel like there was no hype around it. Bro, I had to remind myself Wednesday afternoon that the Origin was on.
I swear to God, Tuesday, I said to my wife, I was like, babe, I can't believe it. Origin's on Wednesday. How exciting. And then during the day, I didn't even have that excitement.
You know what I think, watching on TV, how it felt? Now, I could be wrong here, so if one of you guys can search. This was the first Origin in Adelaide.
Yeah, why the fuck are you playing in Adelaide?
They're trying to promote the game.
Promote the game. So keep this in mind. You got Adelaide, which is still practicing social distancing as well. Plus, it's not one of the states that are following the teams.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So I reckon that played a massive factor, because every tackle and stuff, it was just like, yeah, like, do you know what I mean? It didn't have that atmosphere around it, like such as Victoria or Queensland or New South Wales would have.
And what was cringy was Channel 9 constantly reminding how good the atmosphere was. Oh, Adelaide Oval's great. Look how good the atmosphere is. It's like, bro, no one in the crowd knew what a 4/5 tackle kick was. Like, what's a conversion? Like, bro, I don't know if it was that. Like, I feel like, bro, if you're going to take the game, I don't know, like, you can look at it in two ways, right? The first game is the big hype game. Build it up. Put it in Queensland or New South Wales. Build it up. Chuck the second game that doesn't mean shit in another state. The third one's usually your decider if it goes to that. But put it in the state that it's going to be in. Or put it in mutual ground.
I think this was already, but you've got to keep in mind, this was planned how many years ago?
Yeah, this was actually.
And I don't think anyone
planned it. Because they were doing it in Perth. Yeah, didn't they do it in Perth last year?
Last year or the year before, something like that.
I'm sure it was, yeah.
They didn't plan this. So obviously with the coronavirus bashing every business on earth, this was one of them. They were going to have this mid-year as well. Sorry, during the mid-season. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? So maybe then it would have been different. You would have had a lot of players more informed. You would have had a lot of players actually making the travel. You would have had a better atmosphere, maybe a better build-up, because we would have been supporting our teams. The players are gone, from form to representing their states and stuff. So maybe it could be different. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for the atmosphere. But I'm always 100% against playing NRL on an oval field. I absolutely, that it should never happen. And I go to this at what's it, ANZ? Yeah, at ANZ, where actually no, they're a rectangle, but they're that far away.
Yeah.
What's Sydney Cricket Ground? There we go.
Yeah, another shit ground.
You can't hear nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You can't see anything. By the time the players walk off for halftime, it's already time to go back.
So, in your opinion, what do you think is the best stadium
On earth?
No. Let's not go that way.
Like best NRL stadium to play?
Stadium at the moment.
Para.
No, again, look, let's take out Bankwest, because it was specifically built for this and as a rectangular stadium.
Yeah.
And look how close we are to the stadium.
I love it.
I'll probably put Suncorp.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Suncorp. Even, what's his name is a mad stadium.
What kind of New South
Amy
Wales
Park.
supporter are you?
Amy Park is amazing.
Yeah.
I watched.
Is that Melbourne?
Yeah, Melbourne State. I watched the game for Parramatta Eels there. It's literally, no matter where I'm sitting, I'm that close to the game.
Yeah, I agree.
What about in terms of old school feels? Because if
Leichhardt
I'm not
Oval.
wrong, where? Leichhardt, yeah.
Belmore.
You've got Belmore. You've got even Penrith. They've still got a hill there that you can sit on at Penrith.
Manly,
yeah.
St. George. When I'm talking about, what you said about the old school stadiums, it's the ones that it brings that old heritage hit to it.
Yeah.
And I don't care which team you are. Again, there are teams that I hate, but to see that makes me happy. Why? Because it brings out people to a game, and that supporting feel kicks in. Do you know what I mean? I can take another sport where they absolutely destroyed the supporting scenario, which is the A-League with the Wanderers. They absolutely destroyed. Look what it was, and look what happened.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? And then the Wanderers destroyed themselves, but that's a different story. But
yeah, coming back to that stadium thing, my dad used to have ties to someone who had corporate boxes in Belmore Oval, right? And I went and watched Bulldogs versus someone else, two teams that I didn't support, right? But what was beautiful was watching the people who live near Belmore Oval, and NRL probably doesn't like this, bro. They were sitting on their roofs watching the game, and I was like, bro, I feel like I'm in the 80s.
But that's mad.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's
It's awesome.
everywhere, but let's be honest. Like,
But which stadium can you see inside from the roof of your house?
My house, I can't see any.
like for instance, this is a bit off, but like in my hometown in Turkey, they had the old stadium before they knocked. Omar keeps reminding me, a friend of mine, that we burnt down. There's unit blocks around the stadium, and the stadium walls aren't that high. But the point I'm trying to get at is people were sitting out their balconies, sipping tea.
Yeah.
Like, coming back to your point, I don't know if you meant Australia.
Yeah.
But
Australia.
certain other venues also have like Leichhardt. They had the people when the Corona was full peak. I think it was Leichhardt, and they actually bought a those extending stairs.
Yeah.
They actually brought one and they watched it from outside, like
There
they were
you go.
supporting the team.
Yeah, apparently some guy in Bilmore got a crane put in front of his house so he could
Yeah,
watch
something
the
like, I think it might have been Bill.
See, those types of stadiums, they're awesome. Are they a bitch to get to and
Yes.
a bitch to infrastructure-wise? 150%.
Yeah, definitely.
But it brings out the old heritageness to it. You look at Dragons games when they're full packed out crowd and they're all packed on that hill and someone's doing a runaway try. It looks amazing. Do you know what I mean? And of course, those like that's what it depends. Again, this is a good bad scenario. What you determine as good and what you determine as bad. Again, we look at Bankwest Stadium, which is the
Best stadium in the world.
home stadium of
Best stadium
the
in the world.
Parramatta Eels.
No bias there.
But you look at that and you go, wow, look, okay, you can see the money that is spent. It's built awesome.
Yep.
Despite that one seat that's blocked by cement, whoever owns that seat, that's unfortunate, but it's built for that. But then you got these old grounds that look awesome as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bringing it back to Adelaide Oval, dude, apparently it's like the staple stadium for the AFL. Like, for AFL, it's amazing. And I think oval stadiums, obviously, they have to be oval for the AFL to be work for the AFL.
It is
But,
an oval sport.
when you watch the Origin, dude, I like seeing a guy run, like one of the players run down, make a break, and you see the crowd jumping up and down in the highlights or in the slow motion.
Yeah.
Dude, you can't even see the crowd. That's how far they are.
Yeah.
The atmosphere wasn't at the game. I don't think it was like revved up before the game.
Yeah.
Like the grand final, the NRL grand final, bro, there was a genuine hype about it. It wasn't my team in the grand final,
same.
but I wanted to watch it.
Yeah.
Whereas the State of Origin, I don't know if it's because the end of the year, it wasn't hyped up properly. It's a different city. I just didn't feel it.
Well,
End of
game
the
two's on this week.
No, let's talk about game one first and how shocking
I'm
it was.
coming back to it. So game two's in New South Wales. So you probably see a different crowd because you'll have 40,000 again, I think. Yeah, because of they open up the restrictions a bit. So 40,000 for that. So you definitely will see a bit different atmosphere.
40,000.
Yeah, because that's what they had for the grand final.
Yeah.
They
Wow,
opened it
that's
up.
pretty good.
That's where the difference I reckon is because you had 40,000 for the grand final.
Okay,
that was the first game where
So
you
you
actually
reckon
had that.
Adelaide was just a complete flop?
Look, I made my view when I said I don't think NRL should be played on the oval oval ground.
I agree.
Okay, and I suffer that so much when I used to go to certain games at Sydney Cricket Ground and stuff like that, and it's just like, man, you can't even yell at your own player if you're watching that they're doing well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, they're just not going to hear it, and you hear like when two shoulders just collide like that, you just ding, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it makes no sound. But going to the game, man, to be honest, that opening kick, and then Cook dropped it. I went, like, in my head, I was like, fuck. Like, it sort of went, really? Like, that's how we're going to start this game? And then it happened again. We had Kiri knock on. We had Tedesco knock on. Guffo had a bad game.
Guffo gave a intercept, like...
He gave 2 tries. Leave Guffo alone, all right?
Yeah, because let's be honest...
He made one mistake.
To be fair, To be fair, okay, again, I'm a parody of sport, but I gotta look at normal. Like, I gotta look at it from an unbiased point of view. Any player would have chucked that right, except Michael Jennings, who does not pass the ball.
Yeah, look, same. Taking that bias out, Gufferson didn't step anyone, didn't like do anything fancy to get Adokar on his outside. Bro, all he had to do was pass the ball.
But
he did it. He did his job, but I don't think he did anything fantastic.
In my Guffo's defense, it's not his. He was out of position,
which is what I was.
That's right.
At.
That's right.
Let's get the fullback of the year and playing in a center.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Tedesco didn't have the greatest game.
Tedesco had a shocking game.
bro.
Okay, he didn't have the greatest game. So the questions start to come up to Fittler now, which is, do you start to go, you know what? Do we put Guffo as fullback and go, you know what? And I don't know why, but I feel like Tedesco has not been himself since Sivo ran forward. I feel like ever since then, he just hasn't been himself.
I agree.
Yeah.
And Sivo doesn't be himself every time he smashes over someone, but that's a different story. But Queensland just worked, man.
It was heart. It was heart mentality. It was like, man, we got nothing to lose. Let's just go out there.
100%. And look at Friend. 30 years old. He's a three-time premiership winner. This is his debut.
Yeah.
And he did exactly what his job was. Why? Because that's his role, to play that role. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But look, if it was football, okay, and I'm gonna make a very, maybe I don't know if it's controversial or not, but if it's football and I have 2 striker positions, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say worldwide I choose Ronaldo and Messi. Let's just say hypothetically off the bat. But I still know there's an Mbappe out there. I still know there's a Neymar out there. I still know that there's all these other strikers out there that are amazing. I don't go and get Neymar and put him midfield.
That's right.
I don't go and get Mbappe and put him midfield.
Unless it's ultimate team.
Not ultimate.
Even
career
ultimate.
mode. The chemistry won't work.
So are you insinuating that Brad Fittler just chose the best players and just said, you know what, they'll easily slot in any position?
Emin said this off air perfectly, so I'm going to let him say it.
What?
About he opened the pack.
Dude, he opened the pack, right? He got a 91 rated Gufferson.
A what pack?
He got a
FIFA
FIFA
pack.
Ultimate Team pack. He got a Tedesco. He got a Pappenhausen. And he was like, I don't care if they're fullbacks.
Yeah.
They have speed. They can play centre.
Perfect analogy.
Everyone is playing.
Everyone's playing. And you know what, bro? Let's look back at Queensland at those years, right? You have those years, for example, when Lockyer was playing, when Cooper Cronk was playing. Bro, they were good fullbacks that could play for Queensland, but they weren't picked because they already had the best fullback, the best halfback there, right? Because I'm all for those people being picked, but not when you have your best fullback. You know what I mean? Like, there should be one fullback. Get your best centre, because your best fullback isn't going to be your best centre.
And I feel like, you know what I feel like Fittler went for? I don't want to break up the team that's won.
Yeah.
I feel like he
But he did. Where's Fergo?
Fergo hasn't scored a try. Fuck. I'm a
Fergo
parallel
won,
spoiler, but
Fergo won the second series.
But look,
Can I make an interesting point?
No, you can't.
Opinions state that it was the brilliance of Wayne Bennett. And that Brad Fittler was outclassed because of Wayne Bennett's experience.
Okay, I'll give you another one then. Do you think all those players on their game, playing that game again, would be the same result?
No, but you know what? You can't take away the fact that they went 10-0. Was it 10-0 at halftime?
Yeah.
They went down 10-0 at halftime, walked in the sheds, probably got the best motivational talk they're ever going to get.
Wayne Bennett's
don't
known
worry
for
about
that.
Wayne Bennett, because look who his assistant is. Mal Meninga, who won, 8 or 9 in a row, because you have 2 amazing coaching staff there.
It's a bit debatable considering
Meninga,
they had the superstars. They had superstars and chemistry.
Because we had superstars and we didn't win.
But we didn't have chemistry. That's the problem. Like Cooper Cronk, Cameron Smith, Greg Inglis, just to name a few. Slater. Here we go. Like, I'm even forgetting, Slater. You know what I mean?
I'll go back to what we just sort of discussed off air, okay? The team was that good. We always complained, why is Gagai playing hectic? Think about that. Gagai would go knock on Central in all of his rugby normal season games. He scores a hat-trick against New South Wales. Yeah. Why? Because the team that they built, in my opinion, it's the greatest. Obviously, it's the greatest Origin era at the moment. 8 times. What is that? 8 times in a row. 10 times in 11 years, or something like that. Think about that. That team, and who was in that team, and how they made it. Fittler's trying to emulate that, but the problem was, it just sort of feels like he was that confident.
Yeah.
Because of the players that he has, that he just went, you know what? Even if I put Guffer here, it'll be fine.
Boys, just go out. Yeah. Enjoy yourselves.
Have we got fun. This. I know it's Adelaide. There's enjoy some good sight viewing
enjoy
later.
The atmosphere. Have a good time. You know, remember, it's all about fun.
I'm bringing all orange peels for you guys.
and you know what? Supporting Fittler in a way is here. In attack, for example, Gufferson he's not going to be so bad playing a centre, right? But I think it was Phil Gould during the game.
Watch
he said
your
it
words
perfectly.
Carefully.
Right? Because in defence, okay, where does Gufferson usually defend from? The back as a fullback. Yeah. Bro, it's different to being in the line and defending. Bro, he got absolutely munched in one of the tackles, and that led to a try.
He got handed
off. He got palmed. Yeah, he got palmed. So he's not used to defending from that position. In attack, bro, I saw Gufferson so many times doing the supporting runs he usually does as a fullback. And, bro, that's probably going to work to your advantage. And New South Wales played that game that works for Gufferson because we were trying to get those offloads and we started fucking them up. The offloads became our hell, bro.
All right.
Yeah.
Can I let's do predictions. What do you think? Game 2.
Game 2, I think New South Wales will probably learn from their mistakes and they'll
Do you
probably
really
win.
think so?
Yeah, I think they'll win. My worry is at Game 2. I think Queensland will not Queensland. I think Queensland will try to bring it to New South Wales and maybe New South Wales will edge it home. I think the worry is Game 3
It's Suncorp.
because that's at Queensland. Now you're going to have a team that knows that they can beat this team. Do you know what I mean? You're not going into this rubber 2-0 down and hope for the best that we just get a result out of this so we don't have a 3-0 loss. Yeah. You know for a fact you can beat this team. You know for a fact you can make them cause errors. So do you just come out with New South Wales and go, mate, it's do or die here. So I think that's why New South Wales will win. Whether it's comfortable or not, I hope it is. But in a way, I don't. Because I feel like if they win again 34-6 or something like that, they're going to go, oh, this was the performance that was supposed to be in Adelaide. Do you know what I mean? And then they'll go, well, we can replicate this in Queensland.
They actually announced the New South Wales squad today.
Yeah, things being dropped. What's his name?
Nathan Brown edition. Go the Brownsville's.
Is Guffo still centre?
Good question.
Yes, he is. Gufferson's still in the squad. I don't know if he's centre, but he's in the squad.
So who's fullback?
Things being dropped.
Tedesco.
The 5'8's been dropped. What's his name?
Kiri.
Yeah, Kiri's been dropped.
Never rated that guy. He was carried by Kronk.
Nah, Kiri's good.
Nah.
I think Kiri didn't... Bro, I think Cleary played horrible in the first game more than Kiri
Straight out, yeah. Cleary, he
was
lost
rubbish.
Only individual.
Because it was so ironic. It was so ironic that Queensland didn't have a conversion kicker, okay? They're taking... Daly Cherry Evans was taking the kicks. He hasn't kicked since his junior years, right? And they made all their kicks. And you have Cleary, who missed... Bro, if he had gotten our conversion kicks, we could have got back into the game and gone extra time.
Keep in mind where he kicked from.
Still.
Dude, he was kicking almost from the sideline.
So did
Cherry Evans missed from right. He chucked the Moses. He missed right in front.
Yeah, the first one. Because then he got one from the side, off the edge, off a Gagai try.
But that's what I'm saying. As in, Cleary's one was hard to begin with. If he missed one like he did with Cherry Evans, I'll probably be like... What are you doing?
Because I wish he missed it like Cherry Evans, then got every single one after.
You know what? If he missed, I'll just be like, just seems like that type of game. Do you know what I mean? Where everyone was knocking on, Cleary can't kick, Guffo's getting stepped, and it's just like, Adakar got caught and almost got a try and they pushed him out. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like everything just went bad for New South Wales.
But at one stage, I really felt sorry for Adokar. There was this one where we were making a line break on his side. He caught the ball and he's on the line and he stepped down and he's like, what the fuck did you want me to do with this? Like, what did you want me to do?
Who was it? I think it was that idiot from South, Walker. Yeah, it was Walker. Walker was like, do something, Adokar, and then he went out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
What did you want him to do?
Another flop, utility. Like Brad Fittler, what the fuck are you thinking? Seriously, what the fuck?
I'll ask you guys a question now that was on the media, wherever the media was. The controversy at the end, do you reckon it's controversy or not?
They say the actual game time was finished and that the TV time
was behind.
Yeah, it's behind 3 seconds or something. Oh, I won't say 3 seconds. Take that back.
Keeping in mind, because before that it was a penalty. Yeah, he sent someone off.
Yeah,
they stopped the clock.
Kafusi.
They stopped the clock. Technically, the siren didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. The siren didn't go off.
Yeah, that is true.
And then they called time.
You know what's interesting? I saw a photo.
I could be wrong on that one.
I saw a photo and it was there was a 3 player overlap.
Yes, on the right.
I'm sure you guys saw it too.
Yeah, on the right.
On the right. So it was they just needed to pass it out wide. What was that one defender going to do? You know what I mean? So, yeah, they say, which is another question I'd like to ask is the fact that why is there a fucking game time and there a TV time? Like, why is it different? You know what I mean? Yeah. Why is the producer going, oh, what's the time? Tell me. Oh, yeah, all right, stop.
It should be linked.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's big organisation like NRL and they can't, you know... what do they call it? Sync times together. Are you serious?
See, look, I can always go. I don't want to be one of those supporters and go, it was the clock, it was this.
In
we had 79
exactly.
minutes to get this shit done.
Bro, and even if we played that, were we going to score a try? Were we guaranteed?
You know what we would have done? We would have went left and tried to do overlap on 2 players, you know, on the edge somewhere like this.
I was hopeful. Like, there was 4 minutes to go, and friends around me were like, nah, we lost. And they were like, they full gave up. And I was like, 4 minutes left. Okay, we can do this. And never again.
We can do it.
Yeah, honestly, I was like that. I was like, yeah, we got this. I go, bro, it's coming. I go, we only need to try. That's it.
Because straight out, we deserve to lose that game. That's how bad
I
we
agree.
played. Straight out.
We did play bad. You guys reckon game 2 New South Wales?
Damn right, bro.
Yeah, I think
we
so.
got Paulo. We got Nathan Brown. We got Guffo.
Brown's coming off the bench.
Exactly,
But
bro.
see, you know
Impact player.
again, another small thing. With Para, like we always notice Paulo doing what?
Offloading.
He didn't
There
do
you go.
any.
But cuz,
He
no.
didn't do
But
I know.
But
Or maybe he did 1 or 2. Let's
Cuz-
give him the benefit.
yeah.
But he would do like 10 in a Para game.
Yeah, bro.
And it would open so many lines. Imagine how many fast players are in the New South Wales squad that Para don't have, and we can't utilize this
That's actually
offload
good.
system.
Unless he was shut down.
But bro,
You know what, like-
honestly,
No, I think like every time he looked, there was just no one there.
in the first half, Paulo had a good half, bro.
He did have a good half.
He had a
I
very
agree.
good
And
half
then he
the
went
first
off.
half.
Because it made me proud, bro. Straight
He
up.
played very, very good. Because when you talked about why New South Wales was 10-0 in front, it was because of our forwards in the first half, right? And Paulo was a massive impact on that.
Yeah.
And that's not being biased. He played really, really good. And you know what I would have liked to see, honestly, is Paulo come off and then like a Brown come on. Because Brown puts in a lot of intensity into a game,
Yeah,
bro.
bro.
His post-contact meters is ridiculous. The guy gets touched and he just keeps going and going and going. That guy's like a bonehead, bro.
Well,
Yeah, he is.
No excuses.
My bonehead.
To summarize, but let's not forget that we had 2 interchanges within the first 20.
The injuries,
Cordner
yeah.
went off. And
Dude, why is
someone
Cordner
else-
even playing, bro?
Well, there's that problem itself because a lot of the people are saying, well, you've copped how many head knocks
Four.
this year?
4 this year.
4.
Dude, and how did he come off that HIA anyway?
They've started an
Investigation?
investigation
Oh,
into
they're
it.
saying that he's going to miss game 2 and
Guys,
possibly
what did he do?
series.
He did nothing. Like, the guy's useless. He's past his...
Captain of New
You
South
know.
Wales, my friend.
What did he captain?
He's your general.
He captained a head knock. That's what he captained, bro. Like...